What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and Summer Forest just released in Crash Team Rumble a few weeks ago. And with that, all the content for the season is now here. And with a couple weeks left of nothing but repeating events and such, I figured now would be a good time to review the season. Now, before I begin, I want to acknowledge the layoffs that happened at Toys for Bob, and Activision Blizzard as a whole. The news was honestly really devastating to hear, just seeing all those hardworking and passionate dev teams sliced nearly in half. When you play these video games and have a fun time, you need to remember there's real people behind the scenes who made these games for you. My heart goes out to all those people affected, and I pray they're able to bounce back and find more work as soon as possible. So as I review this season of Crash Team Rumble, there's going to be praises, but there's also going to be criticisms. And I want you to keep in mind that these criticisms are just towards the game, not the developers behind it. Crash Team Rumble Season 3 overall was a huge improvement from the previous seasons. Where Season 1 had amazing updates and lackluster content, and Season 2 had amazing content and lackluster updates, Season 3 had super amazing content and only mildly annoying updates. So let's get into that super amazing content. First, we got a new hero, Spyro the Dragon, and he came out of the gate as the strongest scorer in the entire game. Just right away, instant top tier. He had a super high Wumpa capacity, he was super fast, his charge attack lasted nearly forever and had a constant knockback hitbox the whole time. He has a head bash that he can mix up and transition to an air spin, flame breath that can deal additional chip damage over time, and sparks who can reach out and grab collectibles for him from afar. He was busted as a scorer, especially if he was carrying the Wumpa Stash power-up. He later got a nerf to reduce his Wumpa capacity, but he's still pretty good. To match Spyro, we also got Artisan's Arena. It's definitely one of the most deadly maps in the entire game, just for how many bottomless pits there are. You better be real good at platforming if you're gonna play here. They also have Magic Fairy Relic Stations, an Ice Wizard Relic Station, Healing Sheep, and Gulp. It has a pretty basic layout overall, but they managed to pack a ton of danger and interesting obstacles into this little package. I like it. Next up is another new hero, Elora, who is our first healer. I mean, Catbat can technically heal too, but when's the last time you've seen a Catbat use their healing burger for their teammates? Anyways, not only is Elora a healer, but she's a blocker too. She has a powerful tornado kick that can be charged up, and it's pretty inaccurate 75% of the time. And she also has powerful cartwheels that she can transition into a tornado kick for a devastating combo. With how slow she is and how inaccurate her tornado kick is, she was a pretty weak character when she first came out. But she does seem to be doing a bit better now that players have gotten the hang of her. Our new power-up for the season is the bank portal, and it's pretty straightforward, teleporting you to your team's bank. There's not really many strategies you can put into play with this one, it just kinda teleports you to the bank and saves you if you're about to get KO'd, or it helps you cover the distance really fast if you're all the way across the map. It works as intended. Then finally, our last bit of new content is the new map, Summer Forest, and this place is huge. Quite possibly the largest map in the game so far. It's so big they have to put speed panels everywhere so it doesn't take too long to get from point A to point B. The relic stations are pretty decent too. There's Moneybags, who's basically just another Wumpa stash, you can put up towers, and there's elemental orbs, which are super crazy and fun. So yeah, overall the content this season was very solid. Elora was a bit weak starting out and the bank portal is very basic. We also got 2 new party modes, but they're basically just reskins of speedrun and what's cooking. But those are the only negatives I could think of. Now on to the updates. Let's start with the positive updates, like the Battle Pass buff. Back in Season 2, we got a buff that reduced the amount of XP you need to complete levels in the Battle Pass, and thankfully in Season 3, that buff remains. We also finally got a way to check our career stats, how many games we've won, our average win percentage, how many average Wumpa Fruit we collect per game, our average KOs, and so on. Balancing made a lot more sense this time around too. The power-ups got tweaked a little, they nerfed Spyro's Wumpa capacity, increased Elora and Ripto's strength, and reverted Entropy's nerfs that she got earlier. And of course, bugs were finally addressed. Embryo's slime glitch, the customization glitch, and the Tar Valley glitch have now all been resolved. Though it does suck we had to wait until Season 3 to get those bug fixes when they began all the way back at the beginning of Season 2. And with that, we move on to the negatives. We may have gotten some bug fixes, but that came with more bugs. Ripperoo has a bomb glitch, there's bank portal glitches, there's boundary break glitches, but thankfully those are all small compared to the previous glitches we had. Though we still may have to wait until Season 4 before those get fixed. And the netcode is still abysmal. I don't know what happened. It was shockingly amazing during Season 1, and then when Season 2 hit, it just took a nosedive and now it's never recovering. Then there was a huge hiccup with the map events for Artisan's Arena and Summer Forest. The collectibles for each of these events were only appearing in party mode, where these new maps weren't even playable, aside from Summer Forest. And when these event hiccups were finally acknowledged, we were pretty much told this is how it's always meant to work, and now we just have to deal with it pretty much. Even though the in-game text of the event says otherwise. And of course, the event daily limits were still there. I don't think we're ever getting rid of those. Despite all of that though, I still don't think the updates for the season were anywhere near as bad as Season 2's. The balancing made sense, there's no major bugs this time, they kept the Battle Pass buff, and there were even more double character XP weekends. The first 2 seasons of this game I gave a 5.5 out of 10. I'm pretty generous with my personal rating, so a 5 is still decent and somewhat playable. But Season 3 was such a huge improvement, I think I'm gonna give it a 7.5. All of the major bugs from last season got fixed this time, no new major bugs popped up, the balancing made a lot of sense this season, and all of the content aside from the new party mode games were flat out amazing. If it weren't for the still terrible netcode and how awful the event glitches were, it would have scored even higher. I even prefer how the structure for this season went too. Every season typically goes for about 3 months and spreads its content out along that 3 months, but for Season 3, they pretty much got all of their content out in the first 2 months, and there was a lot more content this time. That left this 3rd month feeling very empty but oddly relaxing. It's like giving us a break and time to enjoy all this new content that got added before they ramp up for Season 4. Tekken 8 also came out the week after the last bit of content dropped, so that worked out really good for me. All in all, I really enjoyed this season, and despite all the doom and gloom I've been seeing on Twitter because of the layoffs, I'm actually very excited for this game's future. Back in Season 2, I was also all doom and gloom, but shortly after Season 3 began, a dev Q&A came out with lots of insight into the future of the game, with Season 4 and beyond, and it got me very excited. The data miners even found some cool stuff for the future this time. Now yes, the shakeup at Xbox and Activision has made things very uncertain. So the present may not ever catch up to the future for this game. But I'm gonna hold on to hope for once, because Season 3 was great. But let me know what you guys think. What would you rate Season 3 on a scale of 1 to 10? And what are you hoping to see in Season 4? Leave your answers down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Leopold the Brave, out.